This is one of my favorite holidays of the year. As much fun as Halloween is with horror movie marathons and candy that are passing out to trick-or-treaters, Christmas is the season of giving, the season of joy, the goodwill to all mankind, and one of my other favorite things, Little Debbie's Christmas tree cakes. Yeah, there's really not that many because I've already ate a good chunk of them. But this is one of my favorite holidays for a variety of reasons. And I wanted to also unwrap a special gift that I have in line for everyone that is watching this special. Story time, to be exact. Who I have on today are some creators that are on YouTube, Twitch, and other different content sites, and wanted to allow them to talk about some of their past Christmas gaming memories. Whether it was a present they got from a family member, or maybe just partying at like 12 o'clock in the morning playing Mario Kart 64. So, with that being said, welcome to the holiday special, and let's begin by introducing the first guest. Take it away.
Also known as Games31. And in this video, I wanted to share some of my Christmas memories growing up as a kid. Love Christmas, it's my favorite time of year, spending time with family, giving gifts, of course, receiving gifts, not too shabby either. And when I think about Christmas and gaming and some of my memories of gaming in both, definitely the 1996, the Christmas of 1996 pops out to me. I was 15 years old, and I really wanted a Nintendo 64. My good friend, best friend at the time, had one. And it had just come out in September that year, and it was brand new. But I remember waking up Christmas morning and seeing the box, wrapped box, and I could kind of tell it was Nintendo 64 because of the box. And it was the first thing I opened up, and immediately fell in love with the system, right? I got that. I, of course, got the Mario 64. I believe I got Wave Race as well, and a couple other ones, Pilot Wings. But I loved the system, fell in love with it, and couldn't put it down. And it just ended up being a really good Christmas memory. Definitely the best gift I received that year. Another memory looking back is Christmas that I received the Super Empire Strikes Back for the Super Nintendo. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, obviously wearing the Empire Strikes Back shirt doing this video. Love Star Wars. In fact, my Star Wars collection is bigger than my gaming collection. But I was a huge fan of Super Star Wars when it came out for the Super Nintendo. And when I'd heard Empire Strikes Back, Super Empire Strikes Back was coming out, I was ecstatic about it. Asking, begging, pleading my parents to get it for me for the holidays, and sure enough, woke up that Christmas morning and unwrapped Empire Strikes Back. And I remember going up after Christmas morning, after breakfast and all that good stuff, I went up and played it, and I beat the whole thing, although it did take me a while. The game is super hard, and especially the Dagobah level with the swamp monster. If you've played the game, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You gotta use a force and slow yourself down and all that good stuff, and it took me, I got stuck on that particular boss probably for several hours. In fact, I don't think I beat the game that day. I paused it, right, and continued because there's no safe spots, right? So I paused it, and I think I continued through that weekend. But great memory, and just appreciate the opportunity to share these memories with you guys. Thank you, and of course, happy holidays. Take care.
It's Essex Retro here, and I've been asked to provide a Christmas memory. Well, the one that stands out for me more than any needs a little bit of a backstory. When we was kids, we used to have Christmas Day. We used to rush down in the morning, open up all our presents with the family, then we'd jump in the car and visit our log cabin on what is known in the UK as a caravan site. And we would have Christmas Day at the caravan site more often than not. Now, this one time I had asked for a PC. Now that was unbelievably ridiculous. It just wasn't going to happen. You know, these PCs were extremely expensive. We're talking I must have been 11, 12 years old, and they were multiple thousands of pounds. So it really was going to be, you know, it just wasn't going to happen. And I rushed down in the morning. I'm still hopeful. You know, we was a fairly wealthy family, and I'm still hopeful. So I rush down and I start ripping open boxes, and I get handed these presents, and there's no PC, guys. There's no PC. In fact, there's nothing gaming related whatsoever. So, disappointed, but you know, it's Christmas. I think I got a new bike, I got some clothing, I got a load of different stuff. I couldn't tell you the exact details, but bit disappointed, went off and went to enjoy the day, but grabbed my Game Boy, which I'm sure I still had a Game Boy at that time, jumped in the car and played Game Boy on the way to the caravan site. We was looking forward to get into the caravan, the cabin, whatever you want to call it. Well, at the time of jumping out the car and getting ready to go towards the caravan, my dad says, well, we need to pick up some stuff, so we need to unpack the car. Here's the keys, go and undo the caravan, go and open the caravan so that we can get the stuff in. Well, you know what's coming, guys. I went in, opened the caravan, opened the door, and what was sitting before me? A PC. Everything, even the printer, it was fully set up, and I was just blown away. I jumped on it straight away. And what did I play? I mean, it was 311. It was an old Windows. I couldn't even tell you, card games and silliness like that. There was some loaded stuff. There was nothing big. But that was where I started my love for DOS-based games, for Windows, for PCs, and that was where it all began. So that was my Christmas memory, guys, and I hope you enjoyed it.
Hey, this is Kieran, or your Moonstone, whatever you prefer. And when Kevin hit me up to talk about my favorite Christmas gaming memory, I had one in mind, but I was thinking, do I want to talk about how my family messed up Christmas? I think, messed up. I think it all came out fine in the end, but sure, I've got a good Christmas story for you. So back in 2005, this is when the PSP came out. It was everywhere. You couldn't escape hearing about the PSP. My friend had a PSP pretty early on, and this is something that was revolutionary. So as the year went on, I of course wanted a PSP. So my family knew that I wanted a PSP, and of course we're not the richest family. You know, this is back in the day where you got your birthday, you got Christmas, you get like one game, sometimes a console and a game if the extended family shows up and wants to do a little something special. Sometimes you'll get a little extra. Okay. But back when, around this time, I wasn't really getting a ton of stuff, so I was always looking forward to, okay, PSP came out earlier in the year, DS is already out, didn't have either. Okay, so I wanted a PSP, the DS kind of looked cool too, didn't have either of them. Okay, well what do I want to ask for Christmas? I was like, well, it gets closer to Christmas time, and November comes around, and the new Dragon Ball game, Super Sonic Warriors 2, is shown off and is coming out. So I historically have gotten consoles specifically for Dragon Ball games because I'm a crazy nerd. So anytime there was a new console, I would want to get it specifically for the Dragon Ball game or other anime game that came out. I had to get it, so I had to get the console to be able to play that game. So I tell my parents, they're like, what do you want for Christmas? Okay, well, Super Sonic Warriors 2 is coming out. I want to get a DS because I want Super Sonic Warriors 2. And they're like, oh, that's going to be a little expensive there, but we'll see. We'll see if Santa's feeling nice that year. Maybe you'll get both, but we'll see. You know, we might be able to give you some money, which you could put together with every other gift, and maybe get your own DS and your own copy of Super Sonic Warriors 2. So as Christmas time rolls around, I start off doing Christmas at my place. Then we do it at my grandparents' place later. So Christmas at my parents' place. Get through everything. Whole bunch of really fun little presents and stuff, right? We always do a big, lavish, a bunch of little things. I always get like, you know, if my parents get me gum, they would wrap the gum. So it's just another thing to open up. I like opening a bunch of stuff. Open up a ton of things. And in this pile, get some PS2 games. Get a whole bunch of new stuff. Love it. But I'm looking for it. I'm like, okay, where's the DS? Did I get the DS? Did I get money? What am I doing? So then I look at the final gift. Dad hands it to me. He's like, here you go. Here's your last thing. Okay. So I unwrap everything. What do I get? I see Super Sonic Warriors 2 for the DS. Oh my God, Super Sonic Warriors 2. It's exactly what I wanted. Thank you. So then I put together in my head, okay, so that means if they got me the game, then my grandparents, they're probably getting me the console. Because we did Christmas after doing it at our place. Go to the grandparents' place, do Christmas there with cousins and everything, right? So then we go over to my grandparents' place. I'm so excited. I'm holding it. I'm reading the instruction manual as you did when games had instruction manuals. Pull it out, read through it, look at everything. I'm amping up. I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait till I get a DS. I want to play this game. I'm so excited. So then you go to grandparents' place. and then go through all the presents over there. Same thing. We got cookies. We're individually wrapping cookies. Go over everything. Open everything up. Get to the end. What do I see? They get me a PSP. So I'm like, yay! I wanted a PSP. I got a PSP and a copy of Infected. You know, like, remember that game? It was a piece of shit. There's some SOCOM game with it too. So I got a PSP. I got Infected. I got SOCOM. And a copy of Supersonic Warriors 2 that I couldn't play. I got the DS later. I mean, I like the PSP. I got to play Birth by Sleep, so that was fun. Thanks, Kevin, for having me. Hope to see all the other cool Christmas gaming memories. You guys take care.
When I think of video games and the holidays, there's a few things that instantly come to mind for me. Obviously, the first thing I would probably think about takes me all the way back to when I was a kid. Nostalgia is powerful, as they say, and nothing more could be the case than my memories of playing one of my favorite Super Nintendo games, Super Mario RPG. So this is a game that I had been looking forward to getting for a really long time. I remember seeing it in Nintendo Power and other magazines and just getting hyped up for having an RPG with Mario in it. And when I got it for Christmas, we actually got it at my aunt and uncle's house. They're the ones that got it for me. And it was a couple of days before Christmas that I got it. And I remember fondly playing that game literally to death all through Christmas break. And the smell of my mom's cooking downstairs mixed with the Christmas music kind of in the backdrop. I mean, I wasn't allowed to play video games super loud, so I could kind of hear both at the same time. There was something about the mix of that whenever I load up Super Mario RPG today, and it's a game that I really like to revisit quite a bit. It's one of my favorites on the console. It just hits me with such a strong wave of nostalgia. It's just something it's unexplainable to somebody that hasn't experienced it. But if you have, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It was just that kind of moment. It just reminded me of the holidays growing up. You know, we didn't have a lot of money. So the games that I did have, I cherished, and that was one of my finest memories. I have another really fond memory of playing Mega Man way back after Mega Man 2 had come out. And so I grew up in the Northeast, and it actually snowed really, really, really bad around Thanksgiving time. And it snowed so bad that they canceled school for the couple of days leading up to Thanksgiving. So where I was going to school, this was before they had like a fall break where they had the whole week off for Thanksgiving. So it was only a couple days, but they actually canceled school for like that whole week. So me and my friends, who all lived around the same neighborhood, we all had basically like a 2 or 3 day sleepover before Thanksgiving. And I fondly remember playing Mega Man 2, and specifically my friend's dad was actually the one that beat Mega Man 2 in front of us all, because we were all a little bit too young. I think we were in like first grade at the time or second grade. I don't remember exactly how old we were at the time, but I remember him climbing up into the Wily Stage tower to get up to where the Mecha Dragon was, and we were all so pumped up for him to finish the game. We were all like huddled around the TV. We thought this was like the final thing, and come to find out he did finally beat the dragon after a couple of different tries, but that wasn't even the end of the game. There was still a lot more to be played, but I still think about that and how cool it was back in the 90s and early 2000s when you gamed with other people. It just felt so much different when everybody was in the same room and you just all kind of have a different energy. You feed off of each other. There's just something to be said that you can't get from an online gaming experience. And Mega Man being one of my favorite gaming franchises of all time, it just fits very well together, and it's a really fun memory for me.
Thank you, everybody, for introducing your stories. And that's actually got me in the mood to tell one of my own. And we're gonna keep it in line to the same way that we do all of the Uncommon Valley episodes by doing a bit of history and then also introducing a little bit of background on my gaming memory of the past. So with that being said, let's get into my story of the one Christmas gaming item I almost got. With Nintendo needing something ready in time for the holiday season, they would release a special edition Nintendo 64 console with Pikachu taking center stage for the Japan, US, and European releases, and would have a completely different redesign in other regions with the Pokemaniac 64, containing pics of the various Pokemon from the first generation. While the Japan and European versions would not have any bundles, both the Australian and US versions would include a game bundled in with it. However, early print runs of the Australian releases did include the I Choose You VHS tape, featuring the first few episodes of the Pokemon animated series. They would later repackage with copies of Pokemon Stadium. They were needing something in place to capitalize on not just Christmas shoppers, but to hold people over until the next year, which would introduce the Game Boy Advance and the Nintendo GameCube. This would be an ingenious move on Nintendo's part, as the console's design was what many Pokemon fans clamored for when the release was teased on Pokemon's official website. I remember me and my friends during computer class were looking at updates of the system on if it would actually arrive during the holidays, and after waiting for what felt like a millennia, we got our confirmation. Releasing simultaneously with Hey You Pikachu, the US version of the console would be released as a Toys R Us exclusive, which honestly made the most amount of sense considering Toys R Us was one of the most popular places for parents to shop for their kids during Christmas or any other event. The console itself is unique to the fact of what was added on to make this different from the other versions. While the Funtastic consoles only had color changes, the Pikachu 64 would go a step further by drastically upgrading the shell altogether with the on and off switch in the form of a Pokeball, Pikachu's foot as the reset button, and to indicate the console was in fact powered on would be in the form of Pikachu's cheeks lighting up, which was similar to how he would react in the anime. On the controller, not much else is different aside from the Pokemon logo on the top. Japan's would be the same, except they would have different color variations, and instead it would be called Pikachu Nintendo 64. And in Australia, it would be very similar to the US version, except the colors would be switched around with yellow being front and blue in the back. Since its release, it has become one of the most sought after and most highly coveted console variants of all time, from $250 to $300, and box versions reaching anywhere from $1,000 with everything else included. Which brings me to my story and my memory of the past. When it came to around the holiday season, I asked my parents that I wanted Pikachu 64. I didn't really give them much information aside from that, but I still wrote a letter to Santa and basically asked for it. And, well, Christmas came, and there were tons of presents wrapped around the tree, and we were getting down to the last few. All the presents were already unwrapped, and I was getting a bit nervous. That is, however, until they brought out a big boot shoebox size, little present that they brought out. And when I unwrapped it, it was one of those big boot boxes that, you could fit a bunch of things in it. So I was very confused. I didn't need boots or tennis shoes for that matter. So they said, it's actually inside. So I got nervous and thinking, oh man, the system might be in here. Oh, I cannot wait. And I open it up. And lo and behold, it was a plethora of games. And then Hey You Pikachu in the box. Now, don't get me wrong, I know that a lot of people think that it's not one of the greatest games out there, but at the time, it was pretty creative. A lot of games like Seaman were testing out the idea of being able to talk to creatures on your television. Nothing like it was out at the time, and I still had fun with it. I was confused about what the heck to do in the forest when you were making soup with Pikachu, and I think it was either Squirtle or Bulbasaur. So unfortunately, I didn't get the Pikachu 64, and it's been one of my most requested and most sought after consoles that I never got to own. But I am, of course, still on the search, and maybe one day I'll get to be able to own it. But I'm not going to let this be a downer. This is still one of my favorite times of the year, so from all of us here at the Uncommon Valley, have a wonderful Christmas, happy holidays, and I'll see you in 2022 as we look to the past into the present. Little Debbie, you always know when to actually raise my spirits during the holidays. Did I get something? Hold on one sec. Well, I mean, there's a package. I'm very confused, because that came out of nowhere. Well, it's got a card to us. Wonder if it's Justin again. Let me see. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and we'll see you in 2022 as we look to the past into the present.